Hi guys, welcome to Millennial Movie Fan Channel. My name's Tyler. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button down below, thumbs up, subscribe to the video, and also share it around to all your friends and family on Facebook, Twitter, all the social medias. It really helps out the channel. Today's review of the MCU is for Thor: The Dark World. Most people would probably put this movie at the bottom of their MCU list. I would too. Maybe not the worst MCU movie, but definitely not the best one. I mean, it starts off pretty good. Early on in the movie, they have a fight scene on one of the 9 realms, and Thor knows how to make an entrance, man. In all these movies, he's bifrosting in with the hammer, and he's on the battlefield with Lady Sif and the Warriors 3, and they're all killing dudes and whatever, and there's a big, like, Korg species rock monster, and they're all like, oh shit, and he's like, 3, 5, 4, 4, and he walks up, and Thor just whips the hammer out, boom, takes him out. That part's cool. It's a cool battle. I like all their costumes they have on in that, their armor. Thor's hair is better. So the wigs in this movie, I like a lot more than the wigs in, like, Avengers, the first Thor. Thor had that, like, Point Break thing. I know Tony Stark says that in Avengers, he makes that joke, but he's got, like, the wavy hair. It doesn't fall, like, naturally. In this movie, Loki's wig is way better. Odin's wig is way better. Thor's, it falls like real hair. It's got, like, parts in it, like, you know what I mean? It's got the strands of hair. It looks just way better, more realistic. It's weird that they had those kind of wigs in the other movies. But the costuming's cool too. Thor has, like, a poncho on because he's in Asgard most of the time, so he's got, like, casual royal wear or whatever. I don't know if it was going to rain, but he goes to Earth and it's raining and he doesn't have a poncho on and he's on Asgard and it's not raining. It's always sunny and beautiful and birds chirping and the dude's wearing ponchos if it's going to rain and be cold out, but he looks cool. Loki's got a cool outfit. Thor and Frigga have really cool outfits too. My biggest thing with this, and it, like, starts right off the bat, is the Two Broke Girl is just, the comedy is way jarring and out of place and throws everything off. And they have that a couple times with, like, Thor's fighting Malekith on Earth at the end, and they're sliding down the building, like, something stupid happens, and they're like fish out of water, like, oh, and they, like, slide down the window all stupid, like they're not, like, all powerful god beings, and there's people in the office building that, like, get paid minimum wage looking out the window, and they're like, oh, there's Thor, and he's, like, sliding down the window like a dummy that, like, hasn't been in this position before, like he hasn't saved Earth before. Plus, they'll have, like, typical points of the movie that hit, like, story structure, and it's like, okay, now Thor is with his love interest and has to, like, rescue her, and then here comes the comedy from that annoying girl, and you're like, oh, she was annoying in the first one, why is she annoying in this one too, why would you bring her back? They do it anyway, and, like, here she is, and it's like that meme with Dwight when Angela comes up in the office and he's like, Jesus, and she's right there. This girl is everywhere with these, like, stupid dad jokes. I'm like, get out of here. I hate that humor. It was so annoying. And I know a lot of people don't like the Ragnarok humor. Down the line, we'll review that movie too in our series. But I think this is better fit to Chris Hemsworth's personality. I think Taika does a really good job with that. Some people don't like that. It's just a matter of taste. But in my opinion, this one is far inferior to the Ragnarok humor and that style of humor where it's, like, sarcastic but quirky. And this is just kind of sarcastic and awkward. They're, like, standing around weird. That's the biggest downside of this movie. Besides, possibly, arguably, the villain, Malekith, which sucks. He is the worst villain. So you could say maybe this is the worst movie, and that's probably debatable, but I don't think it's debatable that Malekith is the worst villain, because what is the guy's story? He wants power! Okay, well, that's kind of like every villain. Every supervillain, especially. All these supervillains don't have too much depth to them if all they want is power. It's like, where can you really take that? They didn't show, like, a guy's family or other motivations. It's just like he wants to just kill and destroy everything. It's kind of stupid. It's really one-dimensional. That's what we're dealing with. And then he is speaking some jargon, made-up language that they went with for the movie, which is kind of cool. I like Dothraki and Game of Thrones, but this is just weird. he had like a couple lines in English, and then they fight on some badass Dragon Ball Z landscape where they can like destroy shit, and they go to Earth, and it's kind of like they're like tiptoeing around, which was weird, out of place, not right. You'd notice it. It's noticeable. I don't like that it broke the fourth wall, kind of. But some of the good things, Heimdall is pretty badass in this movie when he has a scene where he takes down like a spaceship by himself, and then he like shits his pants when he realizes there's like a ton of other invisible ones that fly in. He's like, I can't do all these by myself, dude. I like that when all the Asgardians die, they do like a Viking funeral because they're like the Norse gods in mythology. So they do kind of the customs of that region on Earth. They do in Asgard, except they like go off the water cliff and they shoot him with the flaming arrow in the boat. But that's cool. I don't know how the water stays on Asgard when it just falls off the flat Earth. But if you think the Earth is flat, just kidding. Asgard's flat though, so you can go live there. One of my favorite scenes of this movie is Thor and Odin are discussing a plan to defeat Malekith, and they're like, "We have the ether. That's one of the Infinity Stones. That's what he's going after because he wants power. And that's his motivation. Stupid." But Odin's like, he's gonna come back with an army. We'll just crush his army, kill all his people again. Because I thought my dad did it. I'm gonna kill them all. And Thor's like, dude, you're just as bad as him if your plan is just to kill them all. Why don't I go in, spare our people's lives, even their people's lives, just to lure him in, trap him, just kill him, and maybe some of his like right-hand goon guys. Now, Thor's right in this. In the first movie, other movies down the line, we see him question Odin, and he's not always right. And Odin's teaching him a lesson. And in this movie, Thor shows a lot of potential for his eventual leadership to be king of Asgard. And we hadn't seen that before. He starts off really immature and has a lot of flaws and a lot of work to go to be ready to be king and to be worthy of the throne of Asgard. In this movie, he really shows a lot. It saves the day, obviously, but I like that. I like the character arc of Thor. He's one of my favorite MCU characters of the whole franchise. I like the Captain America cameo where they're walking down the hallway after Thor gets Loki out of the holding cell because he needs his help, and Loki's walking around and he's like, truth and justice, and whatever he says, and he says all the Captain America shit. That was funny too. I like seeing Chris Evans in the movie too. Despite that cool scene with Heimdall where he takes down the ships, Idris Elba doesn't have a lot to do in this movie. There's a lot of like ancillary characters that don't shine very much. And it sucks because they're really good actors like Idris Elba and Zachary Levi. There's a lot of other great like little side characters of the Thor mythology that don't get as much forefront attention that I think their immense talent would suggest that they might get. But all the big players are great. Odin's awesome. Anthony Hopkins kicks ass in this. Rene Russo's pretty good as Frigga, as mom. Tom Hiddleston I love in this movie. I like his dynamic with Thor, and they go back and forth, and he's able to trick Thor a little bit, but Thor also sees through a lot of the tricks, and Thor even reverses some of the tricks, puts the handcuffs on him. I like that dynamic. They do that in the first movie, and in every other movie that the two of them are in, they are constantly outwitting each other and at odds, even when they're on the same side, have the same goals. They're button heads and like oil and water, but they love each other and they're family, and that's how family is. That's my review, guys, for Thor: The Dark World. It's not the best MCU movie ever. It's probably among the bottom rung. If you're going to skip one of them, this is probably the movie to skip. You get the Infinity Stone teaser at the end with the Collector setting up Infinity War and Endgame and Thanos coming, but it's really a skippable movie other than Thor's mother dying, the Infinity Stone being introduced. Thanks, guys. Tune in Wednesday for my retro review of The Godfather 3. And then Friday, I'm going to be reviewing Power Play, the new Jamie Foxx Netflix movie. And I'm going to be putting up a review for Avatar: The Last Airbender as a series. I just finished my rewatch of that, and it's one of the most popular shows in the world. Legend of Korra's up on there now, so we'll probably be doing that in the next month or two. I'm probably going to watch that. Also, I've never seen Legend of Korra, so I would dive into that and then do a review out for you guys, but we'll announce that down the road. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like, share, send the video all around, and I will see you in the next one.